Welcome back to the Happy Learning Tutorials where we were discussing further about the Databricks and architectures and features and technicalities and components over here. So earlier we discussed about Databricks use cases. Now it is Databricks Delta and Delta Live tables. So Delta Live tables are typically used for data lakes where data is ingested by streaming in large batches. And when we talk about Delta Live tables, so there is a basic difference. Live tables are the pipelines which is used for incremental data flow, right? So it's the pipeline is the main unit of execution of live tables. So whenever you have a need to continuously deploy your data using continuous integration and continuous development, therein comes the role of Delta Live tables. So Delta Live table offers declarative pipeline development, improved data reliability, and cloud-based production operations. Users can perform both batch and streaming operations on the same table. So you can use the same table, for example, an employee table where we have a consistent flow of data for each new employee entering the organization or an enterprise. So that data could be a batch data or a streaming operation on the same table, and then the data is immediately available for querying. So you define the transformations to perform on your data, and Delta Live tables manages tasks of orchestration, cluster management, monitoring, and data quality, and you can also handle your errors. So what is the difference between Delta tables and Delta Live tables? We all have it in mind, right? Like I mentioned, Delta tables are used for data table architecture, wherein you are performing a regular operation of ingesting your data. But when you talk about Delta Live tables, it is like a pipeline framework wherein you are continuously, wherever you need the incremental flow of data, or continuously you need to load the data, you can use the Delta Live tables. It's a real-time analytics and streaming. What is Delta Engine? So the query engine which is working behind the scenes, it is behind the scenes for these Delta Live tables and Delta tables is Delta Engine. So it's a query optimizer for big data that uses data lake open source technology included in Databricks. Delta Engine optimizes the performance of your Spark SQL, Databricks SQL, and data frames operations by pushing computation to the data. Now, what is a transaction log? There is another terminology. There are several other terminologies and components as well. Then I've included these major ones. You can go through the other ones on the Databricks website. The transaction log is the key to understand Delta Lake because it is a common thread that runs through many of its most important features. Asset transaction, which is atomicity, consistency, integrity, and duplicity transactions. And then we have scalable metadata handling and time travel. So it has a feature of time traveling, going far and beyond your customers. And then coming to the next one, which has Databricks Lakehouse capabilities. So Databricks Lakehouse capabilities, it provides us the runtime feature components to update substantially, improve the usability, performance, and security for big data analytics workload. Like I mentioned, there are two types of workload: data engineering workloads and data analytics workloads. And there are two types of workflows and we have jobs and Delta Live tables, and then we have something called as serverless and classic models for your compute. So it's a high level architecture where we have a control plane and a compute plane. So control plane includes all the backend services, and your compute plane where your data is actually processed. Okay, so this is the classic compute, your resources, and this is the serverless compute, which I was explaining, which I was referring to earlier. So that's about it. We will see the short demo over here for the Databricks architecture, and here we are. I'll just show you quickly. So this is my Databricks architecture where we have, okay, we are creating one table. This is a demo table using CSV. So if you see the results, you will see this is the demo table which has been created, which we have uploaded. Okay, and then if I want to select the table, I'll say select star from this table. It will show me the results. Now, if I want to read the data set, so I can create the data set name times. This is just a sample Databricks demo. Spark.read.csv. This is the actual file which is present, and header is true. I want the header and info schema. I want to copy the schema and the data definition with the data types as it is. So I've kept it as true. And then I want to write and format the delta. So this is my data frame, and now I'm writing that data frame. I want to use the overwrite operation so that whenever I am having new records in this table or this file, it should automatically override the existing data sets, and if at all the record already exists with a new updated record, and then I'll have the latest data sets, right? So I have the latest data frame. Now I'm creating a table using delta location. So instead of that, I'm creating a new one, and then this is the output if I run this select command, select star from SQL. So you can have a facility to change it to Python or SQL. So if you're executing Python command, you can use Python. If you're like here, I'm using Python, and here I'm using SQL. So this is now coming with the header.